The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Daniel Dubois says Anthony Joshua's best days are behind him. He also addressed the sparring session that people keep talking about. So we're going to listen to what Daniel Dubois had to say, and then we'll react to his comments. So here's what Daniel Dubois had to say.
Side of the story, what were those spars like in that particular one that everyone talks about?
I can't remember. That was over 7 years ago. I can't remember a damn thing about the sparring. You know, I thought I was there to fight the guy, I'm not here to spar him. So let's talk about the fight, you know. And also another thing about sparring and people talking about it. Look what the bad luck that's followed the people that spoke about sparring me and saying they've sent me to hospital and all that. I'm not into that at all.
Okay, fair enough. I just did ask that because obviously the whole public, the fan, that's what they're talking about. So would you say you're fighting the best version of Anthony Joshua that we've seen or not?
I don't know. I feel like his best days are maybe behind him or whatever, but I've got to turn him into an old man in the ring. I've got to put the pressure on him and just unleash everything I've got on him.
Unleash hell?
Oh, yeah. I prefer not to use that word, but yeah, just become a shining light, you know, go into the light, out of darkness and into the light, and do what I know I can do, and, you know, bless this journey that I'm on. You know, it's upliftment, you know, coming from where I was, you know, the bumps along the roads, and now we're back, you know, back where we should be.
So this appears courtesy of Box Nation. Subscribe to Box Nation. Get them to 75,000 subs, all right? And I'm going to start by doing my part. Boom. Here we go. All right. Trill Dollar Bill, what's your reaction to what Daniel Dubois said?
Yo, with all due respect.
Yo, hold up, dog. Hold up. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. It seems like, with all due respect, man, every time I hear Daniel Dubois talk, man, it's like somebody didn't pack the sandwiches for the picnic. Exactly. They didn't put them in the basket at all. Just all the napkins and everything else, but not the sandwiches. Daniel Dubois, I just hope that he just stays on AJ's good side. Try that. I think AJ, I'm writing you off completely. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. You can say, Trill, you're wilding, you're bugging, you don't know what you're talking about, mate. That's call me whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that he has a shot at doing anything to AJ. If anything, I think he should try to be on AJ's good side. Maybe he can have AJ take it easy on him, and maybe he can catch him. But everything he's doing is bringing the animal out of AJ. And like I told people and anybody who will listen, I think that AJ is going to go in there and he's going to spark him out, and he's not even going to celebrate because he thinks that this is what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be 3-time heavyweight world champion. You know, I think this is what's going to happen, and there's nothing that Daniel Dubois can do about it. I just don't see it. It's not enough time for him to be able to get on AJ's level. You know, the only thing he can do is to get into shape for this beating. You know, I was going to pause. I was going to say, about to take a beating.
That is. I like how he shut down the question about sparring. And I feel like more fighters should do that. They were trying to get him to brag about beating Anthony Joshua in sparring. And I don't know what happened during that sparring session, but I like the fact that Daniel Dubois wasn't willing to talk about it. And that happened to him with Philip Hergovich. And that's what he was referring to when he said, guys who always talk about sparring, it doesn't end well for them. And I love the fact that Daniel Dubois understands that whatever happened in sparring has nothing to do with what's going to happen in the ring when they see each other. So I give him major props for that. The only thing I wish he didn't say was that Anthony Joshua's best days were behind him, because I feel like that is where he possibly messed up. Everything else he said, like, I got to go in there, I got to turn him into the old man. I respect all that. But when he said his best days are behind him, I think that is what he might come to regret. Because personally, I feel like Anthony Joshua is more dangerous now than he's ever been. I feel like psychologically he tried to please everyone in the past, and therefore it bothered him. So, for example, I feel like with Andy Ruiz, when he went in for the kill, Andy Ruiz hurt him, and Andy Ruiz did his thing. But I feel like Anthony Joshua was afraid to go out on his shield. I think he knew at that point he needed to fight fire with fire. And I'm being honest, I think he was worried about becoming a meme. I think he was worried about going viral. I think in his mind, Anthony Joshua was thinking in that corner, if I go back out here and get knocked out, it's going to be all over Twitter and social media. Everyone's going to be clowning me. We've seen it happen with Adrian Broner. We've seen it happen with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's been on both sides of the viral aspect, right? When people get knocked out, Chris Colbert, when people get knocked out in emphatic fashion, you see it becomes a viral thing. But the thing about Anthony Joshua today is I don't think he cares anymore. I think he understands now, like, hey, if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. But I'm going in there for the knockout. And you saw in the way he approached Otto Wallin, the way he approached Francis Ngannou. So for the people acting like Francis Ngannou victory wasn't nothing, that guy dropped Tyson Fury. People said he has the hardest punch registered, whatever. I don't know. I really couldn't care less about it. But my point is, there was a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua after Ngannou's performance against Tyson Fury. And a lot of people were picking Francis Ngannou to beat Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua just went in there and went for the knockout, which was a stern difference between how he fought Jermaine Franklin. I thought he was very cautious against Jermaine Franklin. I felt like he could have stepped it up. He could have went for the knockout, but it was almost like he was worried about what people would say if he got hurt, if he got buzzed or whatever. I think we're seeing a new Anthony Joshua who is okay with winning by knockout. I think in the past he tried to show he had boxing skills because when he was knocking people out, people were saying that's all he is someone who can knock out, he can't box. And they were praising boxing skill. Then once he started showing boxing skill, they started saying, oh, well, he lost his killer instinct. It's almost like Shakur was talking about. I go in there, I don't get touched. Y'all say it's boring. Boots goes in there, he stops a guy, and y'all say he got hit too. Well, what do you want? The question is the people don't know what they want because most of the times they're looking for a reason to hate anyway. So all you got to do is go out there and get the victory. And I think that's what Anthony Joshua recognizes. When it comes to Daniel Dubois, I think there are a lot of questions about him. And this is my issue with how the British media covers Anthony Joshua. Daniel Dubois quit in 2 fights. Joe Joyce, Alexander Usyk. And he got dropped 3 times by a cruiserweight. But they're acting like Anthony Joshua is the one you should be worried about. No one's questioning Daniel Dubois. You saw Daniel Dubois beat a man who was suspended for, I think, 2 years and looked horrible in his 2 fights where he came back. You saw Dubois beat him, and y'all are impressed. You saw Dubois beat Filip Hrgović, and let's be honest, he beat Filip Hrgović because Filip Hrgovic's right hand wasn't hard enough to knock him out. Because Daniel Dubois did his very best to get knocked out by Filip Hrgović. Filip Hrgović just got tired hitting him with the right hand. You always say you can't beat the punching bag. At some point, you're going to get tired, the punching bag is going to win. Filip Hrgović hit Daniel Dubois with so many right hands. He got tired. He couldn't knock out Daniel Dubois. But I have a sneaky suspicion that if Anthony Joshua hits him with 1 or 2 of those right hands, he can knock out Daniel Dubois. But y'all not saying anything about that. And it's okay because I realize the objective of the British media is to get into the mind of Anthony Joshua and make him think he's not as good as he is. Make him think he's chinny, although Tyson Fury gets dropped by everyone. Make him think he's not that guy. If Anthony Joshua goes in that ring and just knows who he is, know thyself, and stay focused on the goal, he's going to spark Daniel Dubois out the same way he sparked out Francis Ngannou. And I make this prediction. Once Daniel Dubois goes down and he feels the power of Anthony Joshua, he will quit.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. I'm the Commissioner Trill Dollar Bill. It's my brother Caden, LLG for life with the Boxing Bros.